This is Mountain Vision. Welcome to the Wildcats Football Coaches Show, your home for all things Flint River football, with Wildcats head coach Josh Dare and your host David Carden.
Let's go!
Welcome to the Flint River Wildcat Coaches Show with head coach Josh Dare, and I'm your host David Carden. The Wildcats hung on for the victory Friday night at the Den, 21-20 over Westwood, denying a two-point conversion in the final 10 seconds to hang on for the victory. Coach, were you a little nervous there at the end of the game?
Oh, really nervous. Yeah, and we knew if they punched it in, they were going to go for two. It was a non-region game, so nobody wants to go into overtime in a non-region game. They're on the road, and their offense hadn't really done anything up till that point, so we knew they were going to take the chance.
So you knew when they hit that big pass over the middle there that if they were able to punch it in from there were no questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Was that a little nerve-wracking then when they hit that big pass?
Yeah, it was. It's like we've talked about every week. This is only the fourth game that a lot of these kids have played, and it's the first time we've been in the situation where we got the lead late in the game and they're coming at us hard. And we just had a safety. They ran an out in a post, and he just kind of quit backpedaling when he saw the out. And with it being 4th and 25, it's just something he's got to learn. Just give them the 10-yard out. We'll come up and make the play, game over. But they hit the post behind him. And then on the two-point conversion, he was the one that came up and tackled the quarterback one-on-one in the open field.
Redeemed himself
and basically had the game-winning tackle for us. So that was really good to see. So
yeah, and it looked like on that two-point conversion try, you were on the sidelines trying to slide that defense to the right, the offensive left. Did you have an idea they were running that way?
Yeah, the only time that they put their running back in motion all game was for quarterback sweep. So we knew once we saw that, if they would have had a pass option in there, he'd have been wide open. We knew we weren't going to let 10 beat us, and he tried, and he was a foot from doing it. So, what really made the play was Chase Lewis at corner. When they started the sweep, he got off of his block, and he funneled everything back in. So the quarterback is sweeping out, and if he gets blocked, he just runs to the pylon. I don't think we can stop him.
Right.
But Chase gets off of his block and comes running in and pinches everything down to where now he has to turn it up. And William Quinlan was running the alley perfect and came in, hit him at the waist, wrapped him up, and took him down right where he hit him. It was a great way to end the game.
It was probably really nice to win when y'all were having the 10-year reunion of Flint River's championship team there.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, they won the state undefeated in 2005, and all those guys came back and they got recognized before the game. And that it was really cool because we were playing Westwood, who has a great tradition and a great heritage in football, and Flint River does as well. So it was kind of a neat night. So.
Yeah, not too long ago, Westwood was back-to-back state champs.
That's right, 2010, 2011, and then played for it in 2012. So
well, that really was a quality win this weekend.
It was one we needed to, and it was one that that the kids needed to get some kind of confidence about themselves, and to kind of Coach Moreland told them before the game, this is the kind of game that kind of sends you into the rest of the season, and what trajectory do you want to get in, and that thing's sent us skyrocketing. So it was a big win. Look closer than we would have liked. We felt like we kind of handled them. They're a good team, but we played pretty good. Our defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive, and they gave up a touchdown on the last drive. Everything in between there, our defense held their own. We really feel like we handled the game, and it was kind of closer than it really should have been.
Right, yeah. That first touchdown you were talking about that they scored, that was set up off the Williams interception.
Yeah.
He had Williamson short and Murphy kind of deep,
Yeah.
and it looked like it kind of went in between them.
Well, he was rolling left, and a lot of quarterbacks at this level, they forget to worry about their mechanics when they're rolling to the left and they're right-handed. And when he was rolling, he threw it with his shoulders perpendicular or parallel with the line of scrimmage instead of getting them perpendicular and getting them turned so he could put power on it. So he was just kind of fading away, throwing the ball, and that's what kind of floated on him. If he gets his shoulders turned and zips it, we got Murphy behind the safety, so it could have been a big play for us. It's an interception, and you hate to see interceptions, but at the same time, it's Parker, and he's been great for us. He rushed for 100 and threw for 100 again this week.
Oh, no, he played great Friday night,
Man,
even with that
two rushing touchdowns, 100 yards rushing, 100 yards passing. I mean, that's a pretty quality game for a quarterback. So.
Yeah. Westwood was able to take that touchdown and kind of drive it down the field very easily on their first offensive possession.
Yeah, they came out and smacked us right in the face. I think it was maybe four plays. It was 4 plays, touchdown. So they went 40 yards in 4 plays, and at that point you're kind of sitting there going, "Wow, that's
right,
not
it
how you
be a
want to
long
start
game."
It." Right, but our kids fought back, and it happened, and they gave up the easy score, and then made some adjustments, and the rest is history. It was a fabulous game, and proud of the kids because they very easily could have at that point said, "Oh man, this is going to be a little too hard, and we don't want to have to play this hard tonight." But that's not the team we got. The harder the better. They like to get after it. We're a real gritty team, and I think it showed Friday night.
It's shown all year how hard they fight. They don't ever give up.
Yep.
They're always there every play, making the effort.
Yep.
Y'all's second offensive possession, y'all were able to get down into the red zone and then stalled out.
Yeah, well, we went 80 yards, and I think, because he kicked a touchback, so we started at the 20, and we marched right down the field. We went 80 yards, or 75, got to the 5. I'm sorry, we got to the 9. It was first and goal from the 9, and got to the 5, got to the 2, and couldn't get it in. We ran a little option play on 4th and goal, and they walked their strong safety down to the weak side. They had been putting him on the strong side, so we called the play. They walked him down, and right when we pitched it, he was right there for the pitch back. So it was a good job by them defending it, and just we just got to execute a little bit better in the red zone, find some better plays. It's a poor play call. It's one of those where if it works, you look like a genius. If it doesn't, you look like a knucklehead. So, but we had a couple of drives though where we went the length of the field. So that's what we want. That's what we really are happy to see. We rushed for 210 yards, threw for 163. So we had 373 yards of total offense. Every game we keep improving in that aspect. We had the 1 interception, but that's the only turnover we had. So we're really happy with the way we played, and that was a very, very good opponent that we played that well against. Just really happy for the kids to get that victory and find a way to win. So.
Yeah, and right after y'all stalled out in the red zone, y'all were able to get a 3 and out and force them to punt out of the end zone to give y'all some good field position.
I mean, we stall out, and once again our team could have held their head and pouted about it, but they said no, let's go get the ball back. And next thing you know, they're 3 and out, like you said, getting the ball back, and then we go score. So we showed a lot of good things this week. We didn't pout. We had short-term memory loss. Parker, first pass of the game, he throws an interception. Then for the rest of the game, he goes 7 for 9. So, it's good to see, and each week we feel like we're getting better. We're making improvements. The team, they're starting to play harder. Each game, they're understanding how hard you got to play to win, and it's just a lot of fun to watch right now. This week we got a tough one, so we'll definitely get to see how good we are this week. So
we'll talk about that one a little later.
Absolutely.
Y'all like to throw the wide receiver screens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This week y'all faked one and caught Cullen Evans, had gotten behind the defense, had a big play.
Yeah,
that ended up setting up a touchdown.
It did. That's a huge play for us. We love that play because we got Brett out wide, and we like having Brett out there because if we throw the screen, now we got a corner trying to tackle Brett, and that normally doesn't end well for a corner. So in order for them to stop Brett, they got to rush people down to help with that. And, people scout us, and they know that we run it, so we don't even have to set it up now. They set it up for us all week practicing it. So the safety didn't move, and I was watching the safety the whole time. And if that safety doesn't backpedal on the snap, he's not going to be able to catch Cullen. And Parker made a great throw. He had somebody right in his face, and that's been a great play for us. Between that play and then we had a toss pass to Cullen. He went for 115 yards. So that's 4 games. He's got 3 receiving touchdowns. So that's a pretty awesome stat to have for a receiver in this level. So
yeah, y'all like to run that halfback pass as well. Is there maybe another wrinkle off that you can fit in there somewhere down the line?
Well, no. I mean, the pass is just so nice because when we run toss to James, the secondary has to come up and help. And if we just time it out and run it at the right time, it's a play that a lot of teams aren't ready for. And, they are going to preach, every team that we play, they're going to preach all week, we can't let 22 get loose. And it takes the secondary coming up and helping, and safeties running the alley to help stop them. And if they got to pick now, so it's kind of, we run it a lot, but I think it actually will help us in the long run, because now in the back of their mind, every time we run toss, those corners are kind of hesitant. So it's an easy block for the receiver, or if we get out there and stalk and go, and it's an easy throw for James. So
We'll be right back with head coach Josh Dare right after this.
Murray Company Realtors in Griffin offer a wonderful riverfront family home. This 2-story Victorian-style home located off Highway 18 along the Flint River features 3 bedrooms with 2 full and 1 half bath, open living room, and a full finished basement. Situated on more than 24 acres with a view of the Flint River, this beauty is over 3,300 square feet. Call Mark Hawkins today to view this lovely home. Looking to buy, sell, or rent? Murray Company Realtors is ready to meet your real estate needs.
Here at Sun Fashions, we have a variety of all your needs, from half wigs to whole wigs, from lace front wigs to ponytails. We also carry your beauty supply needs. We have your latest fashion in jewelry, handbags, clothes, and shoes. So whenever you're in town and you want to shop around, make it your passion to come to Sun Fashion.
Welcome back to the Flint River Wildcat Coaches Show. Coach, we were talking about James Murphy before the break. Mm-hmm. It looked like he had a little extra determination or fight out there Friday night. Really kept those legs churning.
He was special in the second half. The first half he took a helmet to the shin, and he had to come out, and he was hurting pretty bad. He was in pain. And he had a big old bump on his shin, and he couldn't hardly run. We went in at halftime, and he iced it down, and he was hurting. But that late in the fourth quarter, he came up and said, "Hey, I can go." And so we put him back in the game, and man, he was fighting. He was getting hit at the line of scrimmage and getting 7 or 8 yards, or getting hit. And, I mean, he was constantly getting 4 or 5 yards after his first contact. So he was really pushing through it, and he had a great game for us. He only rushed for 70 yards, but he was out half the game. That's how dangerous he is. I mean, he was in for the first quarter and a little bit of the fourth quarter. He had a touchdown pass and rushed for 70 yards and played half the game. So he's been really unfortunate this year. He's had some unfortunate things happen where, game one he cramps up, has to come out of the game, and still rushes for close to 100 yards, and then kind of gets bumps and bruises here and there, and then just Friday night it was killing him being on the sideline, and he said, whatever, I'm getting in this game. So when he says he's ready to go, we put him in, and he did great for us. So.
Now after y'all's second touchdown, he came back in and tried an extra point.
Yeah,
he
had gotten hurt right before our second touchdown.
Right, yeah,
and
like in that drive into the touchdown.
And we scored, and I asked him, I said, "Can you kick it?" And he was like, "Yeah." So he tried to kick it, and he missed it. I don't know if it had as much to do with his injury or just we're not going to be perfect at field goals this year. He's doing a great job for us, but it was just one of those things where he's not a professional kicker. He's going to miss some. So I don't know if it was a little bit to do with that or with his shin hurting. So.
I just thought it might have been the injury because he was 4 for 4 last week on extra points and made the other 2 Friday night.
Yeah, so it may have been. It may have been. And I asked him, he said he just missed it when he kicked it. So,
yeah, and missing the extra point led to y'all having to try a 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Which ended up, after y'all stopped, Westwood's 2-point conversion being the difference in the game.
It was the difference. We ran just a little out route with Brett, and we got him on a corner, and he's so big, and he runs his routes well, and Parker put it right on the money, and it was a perfect play. So it was big, really big.
Yeah, y'all seem to like to run those, get Parker Williams out on the bootleg, and then have Cullen Evans and Brett Williamson coming across and give them a couple different options.
Right, that's exactly right. And that way, if they, and what Westwood started doing early in the game, we were dumping it to Brett, and he was getting yardage, and then they started backing up, and that's why Parker was able to just kind of walk into the end zone for 2 touchdowns. The second drive that we had, Parker scrambled for about 50 yards. We ran it, and he saw a lot of grass, and he just pointed out his block. Brett went and made the block, and then he weaved to the other side of the field, probably about close to the red zone. So,
well, that's y'all were probably at y'all's 30 or so, and he took it up probably to the other 30, maybe a little closer to the end zone.
Yep.
But you're right, though. He started off on y'all's side of the field and made it all the way back across the Westwood side of the field.
Yeah, he's dangerous, and now he's starting to understand when he can tuck it and go. And we've been talking to him, just making sure he gets out of bounds or gets down, and stays away from contact. And he's doing a phenomenal job. And Friday night was about as good as he can play for us. Other than the one interception, he threw it great, and he ran it well. So that's exactly what we're looking for out of him, is just to kind of be that guy on the edge that's a great decision maker, and he's very dangerous when he gets out there. So
yeah, and those 2 rushing touchdowns he had, those were probably both pass plays to begin with.
They were, yep. And we just kind of flooded that side of the end zone, and they dropped back and took away the receiver, so he just went to the pylon and kind of walked right in on the first one, and then second one he got in pretty good and took a little shot at the end. So, but it was he made great decisions there, not to try to force anything in, and just use his speed to get to the pylon. So.
He played well on defense too. I know, and I can't remember exactly when it was in the game. He made a great break on a ball when he was playing cornerback.
Yeah.
Ended up being able to deflect the pass and knock it down.
Yeah, it was 4th and 12, and they ran a little, 13-yard out, and he had the wide receiver, and he got a great read and came up and he makes a diving play to knock it out. If he doesn't give that kind of effort, the guy catches it easily, and they get the first down and keep marching right there. But he comes out of nowhere, makes a diving play, and pats it down, and we get the ball back, and that was a huge play for us.
We're talking about the defense here. Y'all had another great outing from your front 7.
Yeah, they're starting to get it. It's like we talked about early on with the, even before we played, is when it starts clicking, it's gonna look good, and it's starting to click. We got a good rotation to keep them fresh, and now our both of our linebackers are learning their angles off the edge and how hard they're supposed to come, and our nose guard and our tackles are just killing their guys one-on-one. We tell them every day, you got to go into that game saying you can't block me one-on-one, and they're starting to get that confidence, and they're not. The only way you're going to block those front 3 right now is to double team, and when you double team them, that opens up the linebackers, and the linebackers are playing great. So it's really fun to watch. We're giving up yardage. They rushed for 190 yards, so that's but they didn't score. The defense is looking good, and then the offense is improving. So it's like we talked about. We're really pushing for that late season run, and the way everything's aligning right now, we're really proud of the kids. So.
Well, that's what they look better and better every week.
Yep. So we made some adjustments on the offensive line, and we just talking about little things week to week, and they're picking up and they're retaining. That's big. A lot of times if they're not retaining, then you're having to reteach things. So we're not having to reteach things every week. We're able to now start pushing forward and put new things in. So it's awesome. That win was huge for us. That you go lose a game like that, then now everybody starts questioning, and everybody's kind of not as excited about it. But These kids were able to find a way to win it. I feel like the kids really went out and won that game against a very good opponent, a AAA opponent, and it's definitely, like you said, a quality win and something we're going to take and run with.
We'll be back with more with head coach Josh Dare right after this.
I'm Ray Lampe, Dr. Barbecue, and I'm here to tell you about the Big Green Egg, the ultimate cooking experience. The versatility of the Big Green Egg is unmatched. It delivers big results as a grill, a smoker, and even an outdoor oven. When the doctor cooks, I demand the best, and that's why I cook on the Big Green Egg, the ultimate cooking experience.
Visit Taylor Foster Hardware in Manchester and start enjoying the ultimate cooking experience on the Big Green Egg. Taylor Foster Hardware, Main Street in Manchester.
Murray Company Realtors in Griffin offer a wonderful riverfront family home. This 2-story Victorian-style home located off Highway 18 along the Flint River features 3 bedrooms with 2 full and 1 half bath, open living room, and a full finished basement. Situated on more than 24 acres with a view of the Flint River, this beauty is over 3,300 square feet. Call Mark Hawkins today to view this lovely home. Looking to buy, sell, or rent? Murray Company Realtors is ready to meet your real estate needs.
Welcome back to the Flint River Wildcat Coaches Show with head coach Josh Dare. I'm your host, David Carden. You mentioned just a minute ago, y'all gave up the 5-yard touchdown. That was after a bad snap on a punt.
Yep.
Got back past Brett Williamson.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard at any level of football to think, what do I need to do here
Right.
with people rushing at you.
Yeah.
But would you have preferred him try to kick it out of the back of the end zone or get it into the end zone for the safety?
Absolutely. And here's the thing is James got hurt, so Brett's our backup punter. So we haven't gone over that with them, so you can blame that on the coaches. That's fine. But that's one of those things you don't really go over until it happens. You know,
Right.
we've got so much that we've had to work with these kids, and that's just one thing we haven't talked about. But that's definitely something we'll hit on today, is just go out there, and if, giving them 2 points instead of 7 is the better plan. Brett, you talk about gritty and how well the team played and how hard the team played. Brett took a shot early in the game. Brett's had a bum ankle, and then he comes and takes a shot on the thigh or the hip, either the thigh or the hip. He can't hardly walk all game. I don't know if you saw him, but in between plays, he's limping around everywhere he goes. This is at the start of the first quarter. So this kid is limping around for 4 quarters, giving it all he's got, not asking to come off the field, doesn't come off the field. And then I think that had a lot to do with that snap, because he couldn't hardly even bend over to get the ball. If you watch it on film, he's kind of really stiff-legged reaching down, where I think his fourth quarter, anytime you get hurt in the first half and you come out after halftime, it stiffens up, and sometimes by the fourth quarter it doesn't get loose. And, I think that had a lot to do with it, because he just kind of didn't really look like he could bend down to get that ball, and it went right in between his legs, and then he, peeked back and just fell on it instead of just kicking it out of the back of the end zone. So, but it's something we'll talk about today, and it's things that happen. So.
It'll be a good learning point moving forward.
That's right. So.
Moving on to this upcoming weekend,
Mm-hmm.
traveling all the way to Warrenton, Georgia.
Yeah.
Nice little bus ride for the kids. I know the fans and the parents traveled well up to Sharpsburg.
Mm-hmm.
A little different story going all the way over to Warrenton.
Not with Flint River. It doesn't matter where you're going. We're going to travel. All the parents want to see their cheerleaders cheer, and all the parents want to see their football players play. And we've got 60 football players and cheerleaders. So we'll travel well, and we'll pack it out and be ready to go.
Probably going to be a tough test. Going to play Briarwood, and they lost Friday night, but that was their first loss of the season.
Right.
And you were saying earlier that probably one of the best teams in AA.
Yeah, a lot of people have them ranked at number 1 right now. They've got a running back that is a top 5 player in the state, and he is a really good ball player. And you gotta stop him. You stop him, you stop them. But he's really hard to stop. Last year we started out 3-0, and they came over and beat us. So they ended our perfect season. And then in the playoffs, first round, they come over and they beat us and knock us out of the playoffs. Both games 21-14. Both games with him, the running back, scoring a late touchdown to take the lead and win the game. And so we'll have that in the back of our mind going over there. They're a really good team, so we can't get out there thinking revenge and all of that. But it's definitely a motivation thing that we'll talk about this week and have the kids ready to go. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. But, they got a great defense. They got a big offensive line. Well, their offensive line's kind of funny because they got some really big guys and then some really small guys. But the really small guys are really quick, and they know when to cut and they know how to cut. And we're watching film, and they're taking these guys that are twice their size and cutting their legs out from up under them, and there's nothing they can do for that. So we'll be prepared for that. And then they got some big guys that like to push you around. So we'll be prepared for that as well. We're really happy with the way our defense is playing, but this is going to be a great test for them. Is can we shut down a one person? Their quarterback doesn't throw it well. He throws it good enough to keep you honest, of course, because they just kind of dump it off into the flats to their fullback because there is so much attention paid on their tailback.
Right.
It's going to be a great week. It's going to be a really fun game. Another close game, probably. I don't see either one of the teams blowing either one out. But a lot of good football players, and I've coached against their coach since I've been in the business, and he's a great guy, and he's fun to coach with, and they're a great team. It's fun playing them like we played Westwood last week. They play with what they got. We go over and play with what we got. They play with what they got. They're not out recruiting and doing things. They build a program and they're doing things the right way. I think, 4 years ago, this team that they had, they were undefeated in middle school. Well, now 4 years later, they're all seniors playing, and then that's kind of fun to go against teams like that, where you see them building the program and playing with kids that have been there since kindergarten. So it'll be fun.
You mentioned all the focus will be on the tailback. Have you thought of a plan yet? Put a game plan together on how to shut him down?
Well, we've got a couple little defensive wrinkles that we're going to put in this week, just to get more people down in the box and just have all eyes on him. But we're not going to change a lot because we do like what we do, and we do feel like we're doing it pretty good right now.
Right.
And we'll have a couple little things. We'll probably start the game with keeping it pretty basic as to what we do and see if we're good enough to stop them. And if we see early on that we're going to have to adjust real quick, we'll have some adjustments we can make. So, but we really, our defense is designed to build a wall in the middle and make him bounce it to our outside linebackers. And our outside linebackers are playing great. Dalton Bowen had a great week. He had a bunch of tackles in the backfield. And you got Brett at the other outside linebacker who has tackles every week in the backfield. And it's going to be one of those things where we feel like our guys on the edge can match up with anybody. So we just got to make sure we get that wall built so he can't run in a straight line. If he has to bounce it, we feel like our guys on the edge can contain him, and the flow will get to him. So.
Yeah, y'all do a really good job of hitting the contain and bringing the edge in and stringing the plays out and letting everybody rally over there.
That's right. And then our corners, we're getting great play out of our cornerbacks. Chase Lewis and Parker, they're coming up and making tremendous tackles in the open field. So that's really good to see too. So and then William Quinlan, he's coming up from safety, and it's coming together. The kids are starting to get it, starting to click, and it's going to be fun this weekend because of how good they are. So we really are going to find out where we're at in Double A. So.
Yeah, that's going to pay off in the end, having yourself tested every week instead of playing the cupcake schedule.
Right, and it is nice having a couple cupcakes, but we don't have one. It is what it is. We got to go out and play hard every week, and like I said, it will pay off for us in the end if we stay healthy. So.
Right now, you mentioned Briarwood had a pretty good defense.
Yeah.
Any new wrinkles on offense to try to?
Well, no, we got to be pretty basic this week because they mix up what they do. They run 15 different defenses. Their front, they'll change and move and do all kind of stuff. So instead of getting real crazy and trying to out-scheme them, we got to get back to our basics and just make sure that we understand who to go to depending on what look they give us. So, we'll have a couple little sets in, but as far as blocking and plays, it's all the same. We got 6 to 8 plays we like to run both ways, and that's what we got to perfect those this week.
So that'll be go back to kind of how it was in the first 2 games. Get the kids up to the line, and then look over to the sideline, maybe make an adjustment.
Well, I think what we've talked about is definitely just changing pace. So we might huddle, we might go hurry up, and the reason is because they do change their stuff so much. Is if we catch them in something we like, right, let's go up tempo, and now they're having to make adjustments while we're moving the ball or while we're getting set. And if we catch them moving and they're not set, that's when a big play hits. So that's definitely something we've looked at and thought about. But we also don't want to outcoach ourselves and out-scheme ourselves. And next thing you know, we're trying to go hurry and we don't know where to go and all that kind of stuff. So we want to keep it basic. And if we feel that the kids got a great idea as to who to block and where to go, then that's something where we can turn the tempo up and try to move the ball. But here's the other thing is their offense is awesome. So it's like we talked about last week. If you go hurry, hurry, hurry and give them the ball back without, now they're just in a rhythm. Right. So it might be something where we try to slow the pace down, and if their offense is moving the ball well and clicking, we'll definitely slow down. That way we don't give them the ball right back.
Try to shorten the game, try to shorten the possessions they have.
Right. So we'll just that's something we're just going to have to play by ear and see how the game's going. And if it's something where we're rocking and rolling, then we'll keep going. But once they start clicking, you got to keep the ball out of their hands and put together one of those long drives to slow them down. So.
Well, Coach, good luck this weekend
over
in Warrenton against Briarwood Academy, and congratulations on your win this past Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching the Flint River Wildcat Coaches Show with head coach Josh Dare. I'm your host, David Carden. If you can't make it all the way over to Warrenton this weekend to catch the Wildcats in action, you can listen to them live on Legends 1370. And please tune in next week. We'll have head coach Josh Dare back. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching the Wildcats Football Coaches Show. Join Coach Dare and David Carden next week as they continue to review and preview all the Wildcats football games right here on Mountain Vision.
Let's go.
This is Mountain Vision.